2 a.m. Guys, just wanted to let you know I've been working on something. Sorry about all the junk in the room. This is just my my storage space. I got my computer here. You know, it's keep all the clutter away from the bedroom. You know. Anyway, hey NYC. So there was a video done, not yesterday, just finished, but the day before on the 7th, by a guy called the MGTOW Critic. Now, particularly you MGTOW guys, you may have seen him comment on a couple of different videos here and there, but he did a particularly striking video. For his first video, actually, it was a two-part thing, and the title was MGTOW. In fact, I'm going to show you guys this video here. You go, MGTOW, Femme Destruction of the White Race, Part 1, MGTOW Critic. Hey, Scotty Turner. So, what I've basically done is I have collated, I've actually gone through and transcribed most of the video. And some of you guys might say, well, you know, why would you bother doing that? And it's a good question. But the reason I wanted to do this is because, you know, if we're going to have someone coming and critiquing our videos, then I think it's only fair that he be critiqued back. And, you know, I have had some conversations with him in my comments, and he's raised his concerns, and I've allayed those concerns, and I've said my piece, and he's said his piece. But this shit is about to get real. You can see I'm a bit tired. It doesn't matter. I'm going to sleep in. This was worth it. Okay? So, first of all, I'm going to I'm gonna directly quote things. So he said he heard about MGTOW 5 or 6 weeks ago from about 6 or 7 guys. So he's clearly an expert on MGTOW, having known about them for 5 or 6 weeks. From what I can ascertain, he's an expat living in the Philippines, and totally respect that. You know, if that's the lifestyle you choose, I really respect that you do your own thing. Bruce the Viking, hey man, flick me an email, dude. Let me know where you're at, and contact details. Would love to catch up with other Sydney MGTOWs. So now I'm going to talk in this video mostly to you, MGTOW Critic, because I know that you follow me. I know that you subscribe to me, because I saw it on the page when, yeah, that's the guy in NYC. So I saw on the, in fact, let me show you guys. I will bring this up and I will maximize it. You can actually see this guy is Australian. He is following Chris Cantu, me, Sydney MGTOW, Mike the MGTOW Monk, MGTOW Knowledge Darius, and Lion of MGTOW. So I know that's not overly clear, guys, but just wanted to point that out to you so that when we're talking about the MGTOW guys that he's been following, you know that he's talking about the Chris Cantus, the Dariuses, the Scott Sydney MGTOWs, the Mike the MGTOW Monks, Lion of MGTOW. These are the guys that this guy's talking about. All right, let's get back out of that. He's calling us he's a loser, yet he projects by calling us losers. Man, look, you know, at the end of the day, I don't need to, yeah, like I've got my own feelings on the topic. I don't need to call people names because, hey, Papa, because when I show you this video, when I give you all these links that I've put in the description below, when I read the things he said and I rebut them, you will all make up your own mind about what you think of this man, right? It's not my place to say what you should or shouldn't think, but, you know, I think it's only fair if us MGTOWs are going to get critiqued, then we can critique back. All right, let's move on. Now, he says here, oh, by the way, guys, by the way, see this here? Stand Up Men. We are getting an ebook from Stand Up Men very soon. This shit is off tap. It is off tap. It is amazing. Hey, Advantage Man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Guys, in the live stream, hit the thumbs up. Let's get this trending. I want to see this video go viral. This shit needs to be heard. So, MGTOW Critic. You said you heard about MGTOW 5 or 6 weeks ago from about 6 or 7 guys. And I've already called you out. I know the guys you're talking about, and I'm one of them, which is why I'm doing this video, because I think it's only fair that, you know, we're speaking back and forward. Now, I'm going to quote you here. This is a direct quote from the MGTOW Critic. He said, these guys are extremists. They're exactly the same as feminists, just except for feminists hate guys. Well, extreme feminists do, and these guys hate women. Most of them, not all of them. Now, in these direct quotations, guys, I do apologize if there's anything that doesn't sound grammatically correct. There were a bit of ums and ahs in what he was saying. You know, we all have our ums and ahs, that's okay. But I've removed the ums and ahs, so maybe it does seem a little bit disconnected, but you'll get the general message. The next thing the MGTOW Critic says is, reading through, listening to their videos, mainly they get their satisfaction from jerking off and rubber dolls. They're very interested in the latest Japanese technology on robot dolls, sex dolls. Now, I'm not being facetious. I'm not being critical. There's no ad hominem attacks here. That's just what they're into. They say it themselves. Their philosophy is that women, they've got a hidden dark evil about them. You don't trust women. I'm saying most of these MGTOW guys, not all of them think this way entirely. They do to some degree, but a lot of them just think women are not worth financially. They're a bad financial proposition. Direct quote. Okay, so again, excuse the grammar, please. Now, this is my response to that particular portion. MGTOW Critic, you refer to your Philippines channel. I can only assume you're an expat and have been over there for a while, yes? My apologies if I'm incorrect, although I don't believe I am. You note in the video that you're against feminism, as I am. Sorry to hear, mate, that you had a channel shut down thanks to a feminist witch hunt. If you are indeed living in the Philippines, you are lucky that that's the worst you get affected by feminism at this point. We here in Australia, and also US and Canada and the UK, are living in a society riddled with cancerous, victimhood-inducing fourth-wave feminism. Personally, I am an egalitarian. The Oxford Dictionary definition of egalitarian is as follows. Believing in, or based on the principle that all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities, i.e., a fairer, more egalitarian society. I think we can all agree on that being the fair and correct definition of egalitarianism. Now, MGTOW Critic, you said with reference to the definition of MGTOW provided on the ironically named Rational Wiki, or as I call it in the description, Cuck Wiki. You guys can go check it out. He's decided to go with Rational Wiki instead of Wikipedia. Now, I'm also going to do a little something to show how bullshit this particular wiki site is in a second. Now, you read this, and I quote, men going their own way. MGTOW pronounced MGTOW. By the way, that is one of the most stupidest names I've ever heard. End quote. Firstly, MGTOW Critic, it's one of the most stupid, not one of the most stupidest. Perhaps you should check out the Wikipedia link, not the Rational Wiki. Rational Wiki. You should check out the actual Wikipedia link to MGTOW in the comments of this video. But let's continue. You read from the article on Rational Wiki. In other words, it's a hilarious analogue to the lesbian separatist movement, but without homosexuality. Incorrect. Hey, Motor City. Hey, Argent. Examples of MGTOW groups that have actually gone their own way. This is also a direct quote from the Rational Wiki. And discuss and support one another in MGTOW life beyond gender comparisons and the unfair world are difficult, if not impossible, to find. Well, I know that's complete bullshit because I have 1,000 subscribers now. And I have 15 of you of the live stream. So to me, I know that you guys aren't too hard to find. We're everywhere. This is such a biased and ridiculous opinion piece. Hey, UIY, how you doing, man? Now, this here, this is not him reading from the actual. Let me just do this first, right? I'll show you this, guys. So, here we are. Rational Wiki. Is this one? Oh no, wait. Hey, look, it looks like Eli. Lol. Sloppy mangina. Let's go to the actual page. Here we go. This is it, right? So the going their own way part is often framed not just as self-preservation, but as a strike that's supposed to punish women. In the worldview of too many MGTOWers, there's no such thing as MGTOWers, by the way, MGTOW Critic. This page is a joke. Women are succubus-like creatures who seduce men in order to exploit them, but are unable to live without men's support. It's worth mentioning the strong whiff of overt misogyny wafting around the movement. You lost me there, guys. It's such a fucking ridiculous word. You don't even know what it means. You're a bunch of retards. MRA memes commonly pop up in MGTOW narratives, including good guy, loser, successful bad boy player, men as oppressed gender, friend zone, incel, misandry, and SJWs as destroying the Y chromosome. The best way for man hermits to avoid and be done with the devious, cunning shenanigans of the females is to never stop bitching about them while reinforcing one another's bias, preferably in a damp and dank basement man cave, presumably referring to mothers' basements. Now, I'm going to do a little something here because this is actually a crowdsourcing website. So what I can do is I can go edit here. Now, what I can also do is I can go to, hang on a second. So what I've actually done, guys, is I actually went and wrote a new wiki entry here. So let's get rid of this bullshit blue pill cuck crap. Yes, I know MGTOW Critic, you're going to critique me for saying blue pill cuck, but this is just a joke. So, lol. Hang on. Give me a second here. Cancel that. Ctrl+V. Here we go. So, going their own way, this is what I've written, guys. This is some of it. Going their own way references a mindset of individual sovereignty as a man and following one's own pursuits without a sexual or romantic partner dictating the terms of one's individual journey or decisions. Some men do comment that women have caused MGTOW and that it is a response to feminism. It is very important when having this discussion to clearly define and make the distinctions between feminism, feminist, MRA, and MGTOW. To be clear, the definition of feminist is a person who supports feminism, from the Oxford dictionaries. The advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of the equality, that is feminism there. Now, an MRA or a men's rights advocate is the equal and gender opposite of feminist. A feminist or of a feminist. Sorry, let me change that. Of a feminist. An MRA is not the same as a MGTOW, although both may share some mutual grievances. MRAs will push and fight for changes to gynocentric laws and standards that unfairly favour women and don't hold women accountable for the same criminal intent as men for the same actions and choices, although current feminist ideology preaches that men are not in any way disadvantaged and that they are the poor victims. MGTOW acknowledge that women have their unique gender-specific challenges. Hang on, I'm going to put you back on my beautiful face here. They have their own gender-specific challenges, but that the financial and social risk of getting into a legally recognized cohabitation once the relationship breaks down is simply too great, especially where there is a child or children involved. Current laws in the West overwhelmingly favor women in custody and asset redistribution upon separation. Where are you? With women initiating what is understood to be approximately 60 to 70% of all divorces, the chances as a man that you will end up being stripped of your children, assets, and resources if you have a vindictive partner is extremely high. Hang on, okay, Scott, I'll put it back in the text then. All right, give me a second, bro. Here we go. By request from Scott Turner. It is the view of most MGTOW that feminism has hurt women just as much as it hurts men. Consider that the rise of feminist ideology in the West has almost exactly correlated with increasing unhappiness amongst women, as most studies without a feminist slant have shown. High-profile feminist ideologues are constantly equating the lack of an exact 50-50 split in all corporate boardrooms across the Western world with patriarchy, sexism, and misogyny, all words that are heavily misused by feminists that use social media and feminist rhetoric as their dictionary. Some MGTOW can be smug about the fact that they've engineered their lives so as to avoid scenarios in which they are vulnerable to certain negative behavior, widely exhibited by females that are enabled and largely deemed acceptable by society and the legal system, but which can have devastating effects on men's financial situation, mental health, and happiness. This can come as snide or vengeful, but it is quite simply just an overwhelming sense of relief that they've created a structure of self-preservation and risk mitigation. Quite often, the warning about female behavior, such as put out by some more vocal MGTOW, particularly online, is misconstrued as an obsession with women. The true intent behind these warnings is to ensure that other men are aware of certain traits that can cause seemingly endless headaches and costs for a man. Sorry about the little lint wrapper there. Hey guys, 23 in the live stream. Thanks for joining, guys. This is a fucking awesome live stream. I haven't even got to the good bits yet, okay? This is just laying the groundwork. But I promise it's going to go quicker and faster now. Now, I did see something in the comments here. Argent 2 MGTOW is spreading like wildfire. I can't even imagine how much it will change in 2018 if it continues on this fast. Fucking oath, Argent 2. MGTOW 2018 is getting fire. This shit is real and it's happening. Global man, women cause 90% of divorces, not 60. Look, yes, I would agree that they cause 90%, you know, from my own worldview. But based on statistics, they only initiate 60 to 70. That doesn't mean that they didn't cause it, okay? I'm not having a go at women. I'm just saying that's how it is. Like, man, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just trying to critique this guy here. So please bear with me, and we'll get there. I don't want to come across as one of these guys that's attacking women so hard that I have no credibility, because it's a very important message, and women need to be blue-pilled as well as men. Sorry, women need to be red-pilled just as much as men do, because it's the women that are actually attacking the men that need to be brought back into line, because they're the ones that are screeching and being capitulated to by the men that are allowing this to happen. So the less women we have screeching for things that don't actually need to be screeched for, the less men will capitulate, and the less of this cuckage we'll have. All right, guys? So let's move on. Now, what I'm actually going to do quickly is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click I'm not a robot. I am a MGTOW. I am a man going my own way. I'm going to save page. Now, this page is actually going to come up and it's going to show my results, given that it's crowdsourced. Scott, I wish it was Laughing Man, right? So here we go. Going their own way references a mindset of individual sovereignty. So it's saved, right? I'm going to refresh this. Refresh, refresh, refresh. I'm even going to go to, let's go My Services dashboard. And then I'll go back. Reloads, it's still there. Now let's give this a couple of minutes. That's going to get taken down. You watch. I've tried it before. I went and I updated hypergamy. I went and I updated feminism. I went in and updated patriarchy. I went in and updated a whole heap of things that were just feminist bullshit, and it all got changed back. So I'm going to go back and keep this page open. I'm going to go back and refresh it soon. See, and I'm going to show you how fucking cuck this page is, MGTOW Critic, and see how bullshit it is, that people cannot even come in with an honest and accurate critique on something and an honest and accurate viewpoint. It's only leftist feminist bullshit on that page that you referenced. So I discredit all of it, okay? Let's move on. Now, go back to the page, go back to the document I was at, where I've got all my notes on this. Here we go, here we go. Right, now MGTOW Critic, the next thing he said was, and I quote, I've heard 6, 7, maybe 8 of these guys. All of them have had bad experiences with women. Now, if you're having chronic bad experiences with people of the opposite sex in relationships, it usually means you're an asshole yourself. And that's really what it means. Okay, so MGTOW Critic, are you saying that if we've had a bad experience with a woman because they're a narcissist, or because they are hypergamous, or they've cheated, or they leave us for a younger, hotter guy, or a richer guy, or someone with a nicer car, are you saying that that makes us an asshole? That we've been fucked over by a woman just because we had a bad experience? So, you know, dude, it's when you say things like this, just blanket statements, when you call men assholes because relationships don't work out, this is exactly the same kind of shit we hear from feminists, dude. So you're not doing yourself any favors. You're not giving yourself any credibility. If you're trying to start up a new channel, you're trying to critique MGTOW, that's fine. Critique MGTOW. But do it with integrity and do it with honesty. And don't fudge the figures. And don't omit shit that will discredit what you say, because there's more. Now, the next thing you said, and I quote again, they're psychotic. They're psychotic on the subject of relationships, the opposite sex, and they are extremists, both groups. The MGTOW is an extremist group, and also the feminists, but there's shade of grey. There's more sensible ones than not. The next thing you said, liar by mission, absolutely, Sishu. Sorry, that wasn't what you said, MGTOW Critic. I know that. The next thing you said, MGTOW Critic, was, and I quote, they have gone their separate way from women and have decided to jerk off and have sex with rubber dolls, and they do a lot of videos on the latest robot sex dolls from Japan, so that's your MGTOW, end quote. I think you might be generalizing a bit there, buddy. I don't think that's exactly right. I think you'll find the majority of MGTOW, they love women, they love pussy. The guys who have gone monk have usually gone monk because they've been fucked over one too many times, and they've found fulfillment in their own lives and their own selves. And the way that you attack Mike the MGTOW monk, you attack his appearance and you call him names like maggot, okay? And I'm going to reference that later in this video. But I can't respect that, right? Because if you're calling yourself a man, you don't shit on other men, you don't shit on women for things when they haven't done anything wrong. Just because he chooses to opt out of relationships with women, that doesn't make you any better than him, just because you do opt into relationships with women. Next thing, one of the next thing you say, look, when I'm breaking up these quotation segments, there's little bits in between that are sort of just filler. Yeah, look, some, you're right. Cucks are scared. NYC, a lot of straw manning, absolutely. So, MGTOW Critic, another thing you say, I quote, and 50% of marriages do break down. They do break down. That's a fact. So in that respect, I'm not critical of the MGTOW that says you should protect yourself when you get married. You should do prenuptial agreements. I agree, 100% agree. But you got to look at it from both perspectives. The men and the women should be doing prenuptial agreements together, but they only look at it from all the men. You got to do a prenuptial agreement together, otherwise you're going to lose everything. They should do a prenuptial agreement that they're both satisfied with, and that's going to basically help both parties, and they can agree on that. Here's the thing. Hypergamous women will not agree to a prenup agreement that sees them leave a marriage if they choose to leave after a period of time, that sees them walk out with the same as what they walked in with. Because they're not marrying the rich dude, so they can walk out of there with the same as what they walked in with. In addition to that, prenups are getting thrown out in the Western world by family courts, which are fucking kangaroo courts of their own, to their own selves. Prenups are getting thrown out left, right, and fucking center. Papa MGTOW, you're right. Judges throw out prenups all the time. Abso-fucking-lutely. And, a recent example of that was a guy who was a multi-millionaire. He had close to $20 million. And he brought a Russian wife over, presumably because all the Western women he'd met weren't up to a decent standard. And he said, in the prenup, if you stay for whatever the amount of time was, I can't think it was like 3 years, and you walk away, then you get 50 grand. In the meantime, of course, she gets to live in the luxury home. She gets the car provided. She gets all the expenses provided. I'm assuming she gets pocket money. She gets to go shopping, all of these things. She's living the life, right? In this multi-millionaire's multi-level house. And this guy passed away. And he'd done a prenup before he got married. And he told her, the Russian wife that he brought over, I'll bring you over here, I'll marry you, I'll get you citizenship, and I'll look after you. But if you leave, then you get nothing up to 3 years. After 3 years, you get 50 grand. The rest of the money is for my kids. Anyway, he died. She contested the prenup, and she got like $1.25 million, something like that. Absolute fucking joke. That money was for the kids, bitch. How dare you take a man's money for his children? That money was never for you. He brought you over here. He got you citizenship. He provided you the lifestyle that you wanted. He gave you everything, and you fucked his kids. what a piece of shit you are. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next step. The MGTOW Critic says, anyway, this channel will have feminist videos as well. I won't be just exposing the MGTOW guys. Well, MGTOW Critic, sorry, I'm going to close that quotation after MGTOW guys. MGTOW Critic, that sounds to me like doing anti-feminist videos was an afterthought. Sounds to me like it was an afterthought. I mean, your YouTube name is the MGTOW Critic. It's not the MGTOW and Feminism Critic. It's the MGTOW Critic. So the only reason that you're putting feminist videos there now, in my view, is because you copped a backlash for critiquing MGTOWs without shining the spotlight on feminism, which is the reason why MGTOW exists, just by the way. It sounds like you backpedaled, buddy, so let's move on to the next step. Now, you said, but, this is a direct quotation, but, and a lot of them just say, yeah, we just jerk off. So my question to those guys is, who are you jerking off to? Are you jerking off to men or women? So, you hypocrites, to be honest with you. And again, I know that the grammar there wasn't fantastic, but that's a direct quote. Now, what I'm going to say to you here, MGTOW Critic, does it fucking matter who we're jerking off to? We're not touching any women. We're not touching any dudes. We're not harming anybody. If we want to jerk off, I'll jerk off to whatever the fuck I want to beat off to. Right? And in fact, I think there's a lot of guys that are going to be beating off to how badly you got wrecked in this video very soon. And you're calling us hypocrites? You're calling us hypocrites because we're masturbating. Dude, are you serious? Like, are you actually serious right now? You are wise, Casey, you have jerk off to a massive mirror. 100%, man. I feel you, bro. I feel you, Some of us are good-looking men. We've got to appreciate. See you fapping right now. Is this going to become a jerk-off session, guys? Fuck, I love you, boys. So funny, man. All right, let's move on. I don't want this to drag on all night for you guys, Some of you got to sleep, some of you got to do some work, so I want to respect that. MGTOW, women going to obtain welfare. Ardent to you, right, bro? Okay, now I'm going to get back to some serious shit. MGTOW Critic, you say, basically I'm going to show stats now just to show you the actual deadly nature of these two psychotic extremist ideologies. Feminism and MGTOW. Now, sorry, close quotes. Now, MGTOW Critic, may I suggest you don't show us your email inbox in your videos? I was quite easily able to search and see photos of your friends on Facebook over in the Philippines. I'd imagine those friends of yours wouldn't be overly fond of having their privacy exposed on a video, which will no doubt attract a swathe of controversy. Because I know that this shit's going to bring some fire and some critics and some controversy. And I don't give a fuck. Because there's nothing you can do to me. Alright? I'm just on the up and up. I have engineered my life to be protected. You don't understand how powerful I am. This voice will not be silenced. This face is going to be on your screens until you leave YouTube. And if it's not, it's going to be on Vimeo. And it's going to be on Facebook. And it's going to be on everywhere. You're going to keep seeing this face popping up. You're going to see it pop up in collab videos. You're going to see it popping up in March with a certain someone that I'm doing a collab with. I'm doing a collab with Stand Up Men soon. Shit is getting real. Guys, thank you so much for joining the live stream. There's 29 of you. I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down the bottom if you're not already subscribed to me. Hit the bell next to it so you get all my notifications. I do daily videos for you men from my heart to help you guys to spit the truth about what's going on. Super Lumina, I found Aussie women to be far better than American men. Brother, I'm sad to say Australia follows America 3 years after. So expect shit to get Cuck, Eli, and MGTOW Critic too much estrogen in one place for me. Look, they've just been sitting drinking soy Mai Tais on a beach over in Southeast Asia. I guarantee that's what's been happening. Now, MGTOW Critic, you do mention that most of the MGTOWs are based in Western countries and 11.5% of the population is white. And I would agree with that based on the statistics that I know to be true and from what was provided in the Wikipedia entry, which I also cross-referenced. I also Argent 2. No, man, this is actually just a random pillar cyst. I'm going to get that cut out soon. It's just like a little piece of something. So whatever, like no big is CBF. It doesn't change. It's just there. So it's all cool. So yeah, MGTOW Critic. I also noticed your friends were the ones that, yeah, it is a pillar cyst, some. You'll also notice your friends were the ones that sent you your reference material in email. You didn't even do your own searching, MGTOW Critic. Didn't even do your own searching, buddy. It's on Wikipedia, it's on Google, it's not that hard to find. This shit's easy to come across, and you still had to get your mates to email it. I'm just not feeling like you're very much of a forensic investigator. I'm not feeling like you're an investigative journalist. I feel like you just kind of find random shit on the net, shoot off at the mouth. Now, you do mention that numbers of Caucasians have dwindled dramatically over the years. I agree with you on that. I can't disagree. I'm not shocked by the birth rates across the world. Now, I'm going to bring up some of these birth rates that he's shown us, and I'm going to bring up this because I've actually brought up everything that he referenced and that he showed in this video for the reference of you guys. Do I have that? No, give me 1 second. I'm just going to bring that up. Now, all of this is in the description below this video. So after it's finished, you can quite easily reference back to this and find it all. Guys, look at how many tabs I've got open. This is all my material for this video. Sishu, check out my description of this video afterwards. I have all of the research, all of the resource material, all of the links from credible sources. So you'll be able to find it all there, and you can send it to your MP. Highly suggest you do that. Thank you for spreading the word. Now, list of sovereign states and dependencies by total fertility rate. Now, I'm showing you on my directly on the actual website rather than flicking back to the video that was done by MGTOW Critic. Now, here we go. We've got just all my random shit in the background there. So 2007 list by the Population Reference Bureau. So this is the one that MGTOW Critic references. He references Niger at a fertility rate of 7.3 births per woman, Chad at a rate of 6.4 per woman, Somalia 6.4 per woman, Congo 6.3 per woman, Angola 6.2 per woman, Mali 6 per woman, Burkina Faso 5.7 per woman. Goes down like Nigeria, Uganda, Gambia, Mozambique. They're over 5, etc., etc. Yeah, so a lot of these countries are African. Then you got a bit of the Middle East, and then Pakistan, going down, Israel, and as we go further down, we get to, where is it? Here we go. Below population replacement rate, we've got all these countries. So Colombia, Malaysia, Bahrain, North Korea, no surprise there. France, Sweden, seeing a lot of feminist countries in here, guys. A lot of feminist countries, US, UK, just like the more cucked with feminism they are, the more they seem to be there. Lebanon was an interesting surprise, to be honest. Okay. Now, I went and did my research on these countries because I thought, you know, I don't really see women happily saying, oh, I want another kid. I want another kid. I want another kid. I want to have 7 kids. I want to have 6 kids. That's just not something, every single woman in the entire country cannot be reproducing at a rate of 7 each on average and be happy about it. I thought something's up with this. So I did a bit of research, guys. Check this out. So first, I thought it's only fair that I go from the first one and work down. So let's go to Niger. Please excuse the these ones here. That is not what I was searching for. As you can see, I did search for Niger here, not the other one. So I do apologize if anyone's offended by that. Here we go. Niger, rape and beatings of women seen as normal. The news that 70% of women in parts of Niger find it normal that their husbands, fathers, and brothers regularly beat, rape, and humiliate them came as no surprise. I know it says no surprise because I went there before. Niger Delta, rape capital of Nigeria. 1 in 10 surveyed in Niger was either raped or survived a rape attempt last fucking year. 10% of the entire female population of the country was raped or survived a rape attempt last year. And feminists think that we've got a rape culture on college campuses. Give me a fucking break. Bruce, look, I mean, it's fairly accurate, dude. I will go and check that guy out, and I encourage all you guys to check out the link that Bruce just sent through on the link. You know, I want to make sure that we are all educated and have the best overall understanding. So again, I apologize for some of the racist posts that you've got here, but that's not what I was searching for. Here we go. The Guardian. Even The Guardian, one of the most cucked publications in the world. Nigeria has a rape culture too. Talking about, oh yeah, it's feminist shit. Nigerian man caught on camera gang raping a woman. Woman begs for her captors to kill her in rape video. Shocking. Woman who's been repeatedly raped begs her captors to kill her in a shocking video that sparked outrage in Nigeria. Dealing with rape in the Peace Corps. I was raped while serving as a Peace Corps volunteer in Niger in 1991. Rape in Nigeria. Sexual predators on the prowl. Nigeria girl forced. Oh, that's X videos. Sorry, guys. Look, let's skip past that because we're getting to irrelevant stuff there. Now let us go back to. Give me a second. I'm just hiding this so I can go back to the list. Let's go back to Chad. Now I knew that if I searched for Chad rape, I'd probably get something off PornTube, but I had to be more specific and say Chad rape Africa. The reason that I use DuckDuckGo as a search engine rather than Google is because it doesn't give you SJW results. It gives you real results based on real metadata. Here we go. Alleged Chadian rape victim speaks out. A girl whose alleged gang rape has sparked violent protests in Chad has told France 24 she wants her attackers to be brought to justice. Chad, outcry over gang rape. Chad, gang rape, men jailed. Chad, teenagers gang rape galvanizes protests and opposition. Outcry over gang rape. One dead as riot police in Chad closed down protest over, oh look, another gang rape of a young girl. Chad girl waives her anonymity to shame the 5 men. 16-year-old assaulted in a brutal rape sex attack in Chad. Girl brutally gang raped. Barbaric. Chad survivors of torture and rape seek justice. Right? So we've got all this. And then we've got Somalia. Let's go to Somalia, shall we? Birth rate of 6.4 per woman in the country on average. So there's probably some women that have got 12 kids. There's probably some women that have got 3 kids. Here we go. Somalian refugee who raped women at knife point in Utah, given probation. Fucking America, you cucked motherfuckers. UOYKCUF, yes, I am Aussie, brother. No. Motor City MGTOW is in Detroit. Here we go. Rape in Somalia. Women and double victimization. Rape is a crime that ought to be punished and prevented, but in Somalia, after more than 2 decades of protracted conflict, sexual violence is now being referred to as, let's see what it says here, now being referred to as normal. Here we go. Rape in Somalia is now being referred to as normal by human rights. Sorry, I can't see over the comments here. Apologize. Human rights violence include Human Rights Watch report, United Nations Human Rights argue that women and girls in Somalia suffer double victimization due to the pervasive nature of sexual violence. Perpetrators of the violence include security agents, armed gangs, and well-known neighbors to the victims, all with complete impunity. The federal government of Somalia is yet to walk the talk when it comes to resolve to tackle sexual violence. So that's Somalia for you. Let's just move on to the next one, shall we? And we talk about the Congo. Oh, let's go to the Congo. Congo Democratic Republic. Congo. First thing, Congo. Campaign Against Sexual Violence by FM Rwanda, non-profit organization. Congo's violent rape epidemic needs a cure. Rape during the Congo civil wars. War-torn Congo has been called the rape capital of the world. Dr. Congo, mass child rape jailings, impunity for sexual something. I'm not going to go into it. I think you guys get the message. Woman, look at this, right? And I'm not being a white knight here, boys, but woman's publicly raped and beheaded for serving fish in Congo. And this motherfucker, MGTOW Critic, wants to turn around and call us out, us fucking MGTOW, for destroying the human race. Dude, do your fucking research before you call people like me out, because I bring the fire, I bring the fucking truth. I don't let people talk down to me without stepping back up to them. You better believe that shit, okay? If you want to bring the fight, you bring it with facts. You don't bring it with some bullshit that you fucking found from the first result on a cucked Google search, all right? Take it from a real fucking man, all right? Don't be a mangina. Listen to what is actually going on in the world, instead of just fucking sitting over on a beach in the Philippines and acting like everything's fucking hunky-dory, because it's not, okay? Let's move on. Who's next? Angola. Let's look at Angola, shall we? Angola, stop rape abuse of Congolese migrants. Human rights organization. Angolan security forces frequently abuse irregular migrants during expulsions from Angola, including sexual violence and other degrading. Teen raped by inmate, a controversial LA prison rodeo. Teen raped by inmate during Angola prison rodeo. Report 13-year-old raped by inmate. So I guess that's all free porn. Lol. Gotta love that. Angola assistant warden accused of rape. Official booked on rape. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Angolan gangs rape growing like mushrooms. Like, are you fucking serious? You know what I mean? Angolan soldiers rape 950 refugees. 950 fucking refugees raped. Let's go to Mali, shall we? 6 children per woman. Let's go to Mali. Mali. Child soldiers rape displacement. Is Mali a forgotten crisis? Well, obviously the MGTOW critic forgot it was a crisis, because he thinks that it's a fucking role model for the rest of the world to have 6 babies per woman. Mass rape, amputations and killings. Why families are, whatever that says, mass rape, amputations. African child rape crisis. Babies as young as 6. As young as 6. And even Huffington Post is fucking reporting this. As young as 6. What the fuck? 211 cases of sexual violence reported in Mali, including rape and sexual slavery, amongst other things. Right? Children in Mali being raped, maimed, and forced to fight. The UNICEF has said Friday that Arab groups in northern Mali were forcibly recruiting children while officers had been raped and killed by explosives. You know, I was actually going to go on, and I was also going to talk about Burkina Faso, and I was going to work down. But you know what? I think I've made my message pretty fucking clear. Right? We want to talk about, you know, cultural diversity and tolerance. These people from Nigeria, from Chad, from Somalia, from the Congo, from Angola, from Mali, from Burkina Faso, from Nigeria, from Gambia, from Uganda, from Mozambique, from Afghanistan, from Tanzania, from Zambia, from South Sudan. We can talk about political correctness all we want, right? And there are obviously a lot of good Africans out there that aren't rapists. But when you are bringing people in from a culture that not only enables, but sweeps under the rug, children, 6-year-old children being raped, being killed, and you want to turn around and say that MGTOW is the fucking problem. Motherfucker. You've done no research on this. You don't understand human behavior. You've just done a fucking Google search and you think you're going to become a YouTube star. You're going to need a lot more than a couple of YouTube searches to give you enough content to make it on YouTube, buddy. To really make an impact. To really reach people. To really bring the fucking fire and the truth. And I'm sorry about the shaking camera, but you know what, guys? I keep it real, right? I will get tripods, but I got to do what I got to do for now, right? I got to get this message out there. Exactly, Black Knight MGTOW Monk. He doesn't consider the mortality rates. People are being killed in African countries at epidemic rates. At epidemic rates, right? Yeah, Argentina, group of Muslims raped 1,400 underage children. Nobody says shit. That's right. Thank you, Brizzy boy. I appreciate it. Makes me fucking angry, right? You don't give a fuck about those kids. You don't give a shit about those women. All you give a shit about is trying to shit on MGTOW and feminists, right? I don't like feminists either, but I'm going to get to them. If you want to shit on MGTOW and feminists to try and get fucking some channel traffic, to big note yourself, to try and become a somebody. You're a fucking nobody, mate. And the only way you're going to become a somebody is if you start looking at the facts and reporting on them. Like Sydney MGTOW here does. Like my other MGTOW brothers fighting the good fight. We're the men spitting the truth, not you. Let's move on. It's so hot here tonight in Sydney. Now, also guys, I have put a link to a couple of videos down in the YouTube videos, down in the description, and they are on Congo. So one of those videos does say, since 1997, a brutal civil war has been raging in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Democracy, my ass. It is the deadliest conflict since World War II. Almost 4 million people have died. So you want to talk about all those people that are getting reproduced by the women. You want to talk about all those new kids. You want to talk about the birth rate, but you don't want to talk about the fertility rate. You don't want to talk about the mortality rate. You don't want to talk about all these people being killed and murdered and slaughtered in cold blood and dying at the hands of murderous fucking villains who are raping 6-year-olds. And then there are the invisible casualties, tens of thousands of women and girls that are not reported on. I wish feminists were doing work over there instead of trying to fight for something they already have in the Western world. Now the video by UNICEF says, and I quote, "The Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the worst places in the world to be a child or a woman. And I can't disagree with that based on the facts that I know." Are you going to agree with me? Because the MGTOW Critic, if you are truly a MGTOW critic and you're critiquing this video and you're critiquing the facts that I've delivered, irrefutably, you will post in the comments and you will tell me that you're wrong about me. Oh, no, you don't even have to tell me you're wrong about me. But you have to admit that you didn't factor in the mortality rates. You have to admit you didn't factor in the fact that the countries with the highest birth rates have the highest rates of rape, have the highest rates of actual patriarchal context, actual, unlike the bullshit ones that the feminists think exist in the Western world, the actual patriarchal concepts, where men truly do reign supreme, where men do whatever the fuck they want and are not held accountable for it. That's not the world we live in the West. Now, I'm going to quote you some more. You said, for a country to expand, though, I think it's 2.5%. You got to have 2.5%. That's why you have refugees. The real reason why countries take refugees and migration, because in the Western world, you've got to have continuous expansion. If the population shrinks, what occurs is that the economy shrinks as well. Now, I'm not going to disagree with you on that point, because your point is valid on the 2.5%. I'm going to agree with you that if the population shrinks, the economy also shrinks. But I don't know that that's the real reason the countries take refugees and migration. I'm going to leave that one open for discussion. Yes, guys, for those of you who have just tuned in, a little bump on my head. It's just a pill cyst. Going to get it cut out soon. It's not malignant. It's just had it for years. It's just one of those things. Just feels kind of weird when I lean up against it. That's about it. All right, so I'm going to quote you again, MGTOW Critic. We go and look at the horrific nature of the white population and how it's dying, and now feminism and now MGTOWism has caused that. Hey, what up, Prune Juice? Welcome, man. Welcome. So, yes. Oh, yeah, look, the Kyle. Yeah, the Kaif, sorry. I don't know about Australia, but the US also selectively opens up immigration to third world countries who overwhelmingly vote for the left and make it harder for first world nations. That's how the Dems get so many votes, my man. We go and look at the... Sorry, I'm going to get back to you, MGTOW Critic, because this video is all about you, mate. All about you. Quote from you, MGTOW Critic. We go and look at the horrific nature of the white population and how it's dying, and now feminism and now MGTOWism has caused that. Let me reflect to that particular statement that you've made and respond to that. The horrific nature of the white population, I'm going to reference back to that. I'm going to reference back to that exact portion of what you said very shortly. And I'm going to call out your hypocrisy. Yeah, he said MGTOWism. He said MGTOWism. He said that's issue. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as men going their own wayism. Okay? There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. It's a stupid fucking word that you made up. Just find that kind of ironic, given that you were the one complaining about MGTOW being a stupid word, and then you made up MGTOWism. Bit fucking ridiculous, if you ask me. Now, after referencing the stats on populations, hey Taz, what's going on, man? After referencing the stats of the top most populating countries over in Africa, you said, again, MGTOW Critic, and I'm going to quote you on this. Exactly, I'm going to quote you. The other countries, they're all African. They're all pumping out 6-7 babies per woman. The black population on this planet is exploding. It's exploding, and I'm not racist. I've got lots of black friends. You can see my black interactions on my Philippines channel as well. I love black people. I think they're really cool. Guys, I kid you not. That is exactly what MGTOW Critic said. You can see my black interactions on my Philippines channel as well. I love black people. I think they're really cool. Well, I don't think you should be objectifying black people as people who are really cool. Man? Yeah, exactly, Sishu. Virtue signaling, loud and clear. And I'm going to go back to where you just said, I'm not racist. You're not racist, but you just said we look at the horrific nature of the white population. Oh. The smell of hypocrisy. Caught you up, MGTOW Critic. And you then quoted, this is a quote, another quote from you. Where's all the white? Where's all the white ones, man? Well, I think you'll find they're all just going about their business. Oh, sorry, hang on. You said, open quote, where's all the white ones, man? And then I close quote. Well, MGTOW Critic, I think you'll find they're all most of them are just going about their business, not raping women in Africa. Ironically, if a black man in Africa gets accused of rape, he won't get witch hunted by modern feminists. Ironically, I think they'll probably want to grant him asylum and try and fix him, like women seem to do with other men. They want to fix them. They want to just tinker with them and make them to the perfect man. Because their perfect man doesn't exist because their standards are too high most of the time. But let's move on. Yeah, and the reason that they don't get witch hunted by those Western feminists is because the Western feminists are too busy harping on about a rape culture on university campuses, which they claim to be commensurate with rape rates in the Congo. Are you that retarded, Western feminists? But I digress. The next thing that the MGTOW Critic says is, open quote, there you have it. Who's causing this? It's feminism and now MGTOWism. That's the chief factors behind us. Now it's getting more expensive to live in white-type countries, white-dominated countries. That is somewhat of a factor, but hey, it's much harder to live in Africa, is it? And they're both pumping out, they're pumping out 5, 6, 7 babies. So definitely feminism is a big factor. And now MGTOWism. Both are just destroying the harmony between the sexes. Fems are saying men are rapists. The hardcore ones, the extremists, and the hardcore MGTOWs saying a woman's just going to rip you off. They got a dark nature, every one of them, and keep the hell away from them. Now, guys, there's a Australian body called the Australian Bureau of Statistics. Now, you wouldn't pick it, but this particular body is an Australian bureau that captures statistics. And I put the link for that down below. I'm going to go to this now, and I am going to show you some next level bullshit. So I'm just going to this page here. Cool. Now, I'm going to go, I'm just going to show you where I went, right? So Australian Historical Population Statistics 2004. Ctrl+F. We're going to search for divorce. Cool. Now, let's go down here. Divorces registered, states and territories, number of divorces, age-specific divorce rates, crude divorce rates. Guys, you can actually go and download all these as Excel spreadsheets. Now, I'd also like to point out, MGTOW Critic, that if we go here, the feminist movement, right? So I've gone to Wikipedia and I'm going to show you the feminist movement. Now, if we actually have a look here, feminism in China started in the 20th century with the Chinese Revolution in 1911, right? Feminist movement in Western society. We've got, became popular in 1968, May 1968. Oh yeah, 100% says you. Totally agree. Now, where was it? There was something that I found. Now, I've actually gone, I just want to show you quickly. This is Family Law Court, the website that has all the legislation for the Family Law Court in Australia. They introduced no-fault divorce in 1975. So the Family Act 1975 established the principle of no-fault divorce in Australian law. This means that a court does not consider which partner was at fault in the divorce. Cool. So basically what they're saying there is if a woman wants to leave, they can just leave. No reason. Just don't need to give any justification. You can just leave. Now, I took the liberty, men, of going and downloading some statistics. Pretty cool statistics, actually. So what I downloaded was the median duration of marriage. So I'm going to show you here. Median duration of marriage to separation and divorce. Right? From 1977 onwards. So, I'm going to take it up a little bit. Got 3.5 years. So this is years to separation from when they get married and years to actual divorce. So you see here like 7.4 and 10.9. That's the Australian figures across the board. And then you got like 7.3 and 10.7 for New South Wales. You know, they're the collective. I've basically gone off the gap for the whole of Australia because I don't want to convolute this too much, guys. So 1977, 3.5, 3.1, 2.8, 2.7, 2.7, 2.8, 2.8, 2.9, 2.9, 2.9, 2.8, 2.8, 2.9, 2.8, 2.9, 3.1, 3.3, 3.4, growing a little bit, 3.5, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. That takes us to 2004, right? So the amount of time it's taking the whole divorce process, it's dragging it out even longer. It's even harder and harder. It's putting more and more of a toll on people. Now, the next one, guys, the next one. Okay, I'm gonna bring you back to my face for this because I need to show you. Guys, this one is fucking dynamite. This is fucking dynamite. What this tells us is the amount of divorces registered in each year from 1875 onwards. And what I've done is I've highlighted the line and then I've put conditional formatting. So the lower the number, the greener it is, and the higher the number, the redder it is. So as it gets more and more red, there's more and more divorces. Now, I want to start with 1875. In 1875, there were 9 divorces. 19, 9, 11, 10, 22, 15, 19, 14, 27. So all the way through to 1886, there was a max of 32. 1889, there was 44. Let's start scrolling across, guys, because I want to share this with you. And now, when we hit 1975, when no-fault divorce comes in, you will notice a massive, massive shift in the numbers. Sorry, it's just they haven't recorded these for a while. They would go, oh, hey, hang on, 1901, we're up to 272 from 42. Fuck, that's a big jump. Okay, let's keep going, right? So we're up to 398 Australian wide. All right, so we're going 1910, we're up to 468. We go to 1920, we're up to 1148. We go to 1930, we're up to 1761. We go to 1940, we're going to 3,242. We go to 1950, we have 7,358. We go to 1960, and we have 6,633. We go to 1970, we have 12,198. The numbers are growing. We go to 1974, and so far the biggest number we've had to 1974 is the figure in 1974, right? Which is 17,688. Now, guys, okay, I'm going to take you back to me for a second. So, right, from 9 Australia-wide to 17,688 up to 17 sorry, up to 1974. Now, the very next year, no-fault divorce comes in. 1975 in Australia, no-fault divorce comes in. So women can just get up and say, I want a divorce, and be done, right? This is where shit gets real. So we go from 1768 in 1974. Whoa, we've got 24,500 in 1975. Oh, wait. So now that we've got so we only probably didn't get a full year of this law that came into place in 75, but then 1976 it tripled almost up to 62,000. What the fuck? Does the color gradation factor in population increase over those years? No, it doesn't. It just factors in the raw number of divorces. Unfortunately, I haven't flicked that data back and forth. It took me quite a bit of time to go through and get all this data for you guys to support my critique of MGTOW Critic's video. I'm sorry this is dragging on a bit long. We've gone up to an hour now. Thank you all for staying with me. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all my boys in Australia. Shout out to all my boys in America. Shout out to all my men all over the world. Loving hearing from you. So yeah, that's right. Even with that population increase, that spike went from 1768, 1974. In 1975, at some point, they introduced no-fault divorce. It spiked up by 7,000. The next year, it almost tripled to 63,000. As all the women are like, okay, now we can get out of the divorces we don't want to be in. So now that we can have the divorces and get out of the marriages we don't want to be in, of course, there would have been some men doing that as well. But we know that women I personally think they cause, without realizing it, more than a lot more than 70 to 80% of the divorces, but they do initiate around about 70% in the Western world. That's pretty widely known facts. If anyone can prove otherwise, I'd be happy for you to fling the stats in the comments of this video afterwards. I'm always looking for accurate information, and I think I am pretty spot on with my info. Superlumina, you're passionate, but don't let these people get you off your game. No, not at all. Superlumina, I'm out here to expose the truth, and I want you guys to see the truth. And this is the truth about the Western world and population rates. And, this is really, we're being shamed for being rapists, but the very people that we're being compared against are the ones actually raping, and we're the ones not raping people at anywhere near the same rates. Okay. So, when we've got 1977, 45,000, 40,000, 38,000, 40,000, 42,000, 44,000, 43.5, 43,124. And if we fast forward, we go through to 1995, we've got 50,000, go to 2000, we've got 50,000, go to 2004, we have 53,000. 53,000 fucking divorces every single year in Australia. 53 fucking thousand. And and people like MGTOW Critic and a lot of feminists that like to shame us, and women that like to shame us into marriage, turn around and say, oh, you're scared of commitment. No, I'm scared of being one of the 53,000, motherfucker. Like, you go look at these numbers and you tell them if this shit adds up. I mean, if you've done a gender studies degree instead of a maths degree, then I probably understand why you don't get the basic concepts that I'm explaining to you here. Absolutely, Mike F, 53,000 broken homes, 53, like, I would say probably about half of those divorces, a lot of the men barely see their kids, and I really respect the men that do fight for their kids no matter what, even if it drives you right to the edge of the earth. I really respect that. The Kaif, what's the marriage rate? Do you know the divorce marriage rate ratio? Seems unsustainable. Look, there's more men. There are those stats on the ABS, but I'd have to go and look at those. Obviously, that's something for another video. If you guys want to drop comments after this video stops going live, I'd appreciate that, and I'll reply to those, and I'll look at doing videos on that later on. Advantage men, how many of those men kill themselves? Exactly. How you meant to sustain a population where men are needed to populate when they're dying off because of the way that they're being treated. Now let's move on, okay? Because MGTOW Critic, I haven't finished with you, buddy. Haven't finished. Where are we? Here we go. So, MGTOW Critic, you do talk about how feminists and MGTOW are ruining the marriage industry because there's about a third less marriages now. I don't know if those stats are exactly correct. And, you know, if they do, I'm assuming you're talking about Australia. But, you know, the marriage industry, the weddings, they charge enough that they can survive on 2/3 of the customers. If they're going to turn around and say, oh, we're going to go under, that's bullshit. We know it. They've been overcharging for weddings for years because they know that the men or the wife's, you know, father, like the fiance's father, if that's the tradition they choose to follow, will come in and foot the bill, right? Or the mother and the father, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, the man's up for a big bill no matter what. Now, you said and I quote, this is an open quote, within 200 years, there'll be no white race because of these extremist groups. So I'm here to basically call these guys out for their pure irresponsibility and their pure self-centeredness. These MGTOW guys, I'm telling you straight, they are big on it's all about the man. Look after number one. You'll see video after video after video. Absolutely, we're going to look after number one. Because guess what? You're not looking after number one. Tyrone, Big Daddy Tyrone, who's trying to fist me and take my wallet out from my pocket and redistribute it. He's not looking after number one. Women are not looking after number one for me. Right? Women are being told, look after your fucking self. So guess what? Guess what, MGTOW Critic? I'm looking after myself. I'm looking after numero uno because no one else is going to do it. Big Daddy Tyrone's not going to do it. Women aren't going to do it for me. I'm a man. I look after my own shit. And you know what? I even do this video. I put my face to this video for you men. Even knowing that one day I'm eventually probably going to lose my job. Because you know what? I know I'll still make shit work. I know I'll still come back with the fire. I know I'll still survive. And I'll still keep popping up. And you can't get rid of me. You will not get rid of this face off your screens. It's here to stay. Now you refer to Mike the MGTOW Monk as Mike the MGTOW Maggot, right? Because he did a 15-minute video response to a comment that you put on one of his videos. Now, by everything we've seen so far, I'm assuming that you're a bit of a dick in that comment. So I'm probably not too surprised that he did a response video to you. Now, you call him a skinny maggot, right? It doesn't matter if he's skinny or if he's hefty. But you know what? This is typical feminist shaming tactics. You know, insulting people and their looks. Insulting people and their looks. A hacksack, yeah, that's what I think, man. I think a good MGTOW man will hire me in a minute. I don't care where I have to go in the world. You know, guys, if you want to hire me when I lose my job and you're over in Canada, well, no, fuck Canada. Fucking Justin Trudeau, that motherfucker, he's such a cock. But, you know, if I want to travel the world and come work for someone, and lay down some good work and put in the hard yards for another fellow MGTOW, I'll do that for fair remuneration. And I'm always go my own way. I'll always have my side hustle on. I'll always make shit work. Thank you guys for tuning in. 45 in the live stream is fucking amazing. This is the most I've ever had in a live stream. It's 3:15 a.m. I've got to get up at 6 a.m. I don't give a fuck. I'm here for you, man. Thank you so much. Keep smashing the thumbs up. Keep hitting subscribe. Keep hitting the notification bell once you've subscribed. Keep sharing this on Facebook. Let's keep getting this message out there. If there's anyone out there that you think needs to hear this message, send it to them in a PM. Text them the link. Whatever you got to do. Let's get this shit trending. Let's get Sydney MGTOW up there so I can keep spreading my voice and keep spitting truths at people like the MGTOW Critic that want to talk shit to other fellow MGTOW that I respect, that work hard for us, that keep it real, that keep it 1000 as Chris Cantu says. So, yeah, you called him a skinny maggot and you said he did a 15-minute video trying to destroy you and your channel. Now, dude, I'm responding to your first video. So what I want to say to you is that unless you went back in time to do the video I'm responding to, you did these 2 MGTOW critique videos after Mike the MGTOW Monk. Not Mike the MGTOW Maggot, Mike the MGTOW Monk. After he did the video responding to your comment. So these are the only 2 videos you've got on your channel, dude. So you basically had no channel before this. So I can't understand your gripe about him trying to shut down a channel you didn't have to begin with. But I digress. Men, we are sick of being told bullshit. We are sick of being lied to. We know the truth. Right? And Mike the MGTOW Monk, you can think you've been looking at about 6 YouTube channels off and on for 5 or 6 weeks, and you think you know MGTOW. You don't know the first thing about MGTOW. You don't know the first thing about the fight that's coming back to Big Daddy Tyrone. You don't know the first thing about what feminism has done to this country. Because MGTOW is... People have been living MGTOW for years, but this movement with a label to it has only come around in the last couple of years. And feminism's been in China since 1911. So I don't know what kind of fucking crack you've been smoking, but declining birth rates have correlated with the uptake of feminism. MGTOWs are just saying, we're not putting up with your shit. We're not putting up with these gynocentric laws. And while we're at this, right, because you went to such a bullshit site to do your research on what MGTOW actually is, brother, yeah, guys, go check out Seshu. He's a great bloke, and have a look at his channels if you like it. Hit subscribe, hit the bell on his channel, and follow his gear as well. So yeah, no worries, man. I love you. Thank you for joining in all my live streams. I appreciate you. So let's MGTOW Critic, I'm getting back to you. This is for you. This is from the actual Wikipedia, not from the Cuckpedia that you went to. Men going their own way. It's a mostly pseudonymous online community supported by websites and social media presences, cautioning men against serious romantic relationships with women, especially marriage. This community is part of what is more broadly termed the manosphere. MGTOW use the word gynocentric to describe conditions that favor women to the detriment of men and are opposed to such circumstances. MGTOW believe that there is a systemic gynocentric bias against men, including double standards in gender roles, bias against men in family courts, lack of concern for men falsely accused of rape, and lack of consequences for their accusers. So that's actually what MGTOW is about. So go to Wikipedia, not that Cuckpedia rational wiki, which is completely irrational. Speaking of which, men, you may remember that earlier in this video, I actually went and I edited the rational wiki webpage. Let's go back there and see if they've cucked it again and put it back to the bullshit that they had it at before. Here we go, rational wiki. Let's hit the refresh button. Oh, here we go. It's refresh back. Often framed as, here we go, misogyny, MGTOW narratives, men as oppressed, they're unable to live without men's support. See, this is all the bullshit, cucked shit you find. The real stuff is on Wikipedia about MGTOW. The bullshit is on Rational Wiki. It's not rational. It's completely irrational. It's a cucked feminist fucking propaganda, right? So don't listen to that shit, mate. If you're going to critique me, do it as it is. Seshu, can you just type in here what your actual channel name is? Because I'm about to jump off, bro. I've been in here for an hour and 12. I need to go have a shower and get to bed because it's hot as fuck here tonight. I am actually really, really tired. But I wanted to do this for you, men. I wanted to spit the truth. I wanted to drop fucking truth bombs. And I wanted to call you out, the MGTOW Critic. I wanted to call you out because the video that you did was wrong. Check out her. Scott Turner also mentioned Herbivore Men Wikipedia. Guys, I'm actually going to do a quick flick through his comments. Let me just kind of put this up while I stand up because I've been sitting up for way too long. Beautiful. Give me a sec. Oh, mad stretch. Okay. Stay true to MGTOW truth and the MGTOW message, man. Absolutely, brother. Thanks, Whoosh Whoosh. I appreciate you, bro. Here we go. Scott Avell is, sorry, I hope I get that right. Women broke the game before we took the batteries and left. True that. Betty will be the first one running to MGTOW after his divorce rate. I think we're talking about MGTOW Critic here. I agree. Either that or he will get divorced and remarried and divorced and remarried and keep getting fucked over until he realizes that he really isn't getting the best out of marriage and cohabitation. Let's go some more comments. Agent Smith, anti-MGTOW cunts are just pissed because they don't want to be the only members of the slave class that serve women. Absolutely. Hacksack, good job, bro. Thanks for speaking the truth. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Scott Avellis, life is needless when it's weedless. It's hopeless when it's dopeless. Man, I don't smoke. I am not big on drugs, dude. But totally respect your choice, and still I love you no matter what. Thank you for joining my channel. I'm glad that you can be part of this and spread the word. I really appreciate your contribution. You rock, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Black Knight, MGTOW Monk, how you doing, bro? Great show, brother. Thank you so much. Motor City, MGTOW, peace. MGTOW brothers, peace, brother. Brizzy boy, after my ex cheated on me, I left and raised a son on my own, and I don't need a woman. I can take care of myself. Absolutely, Brizzy boy. Us men can take care of ourselves. You know, women are trying to shame us for that, but it's bullshit. The Kaif ad hominem attacks can't come up with legitimate arguments, resort to character assassination. Absolutely, that's what it's all about. You know, without the truths, he's got no substance on which to stand on. When people like me come and shut his shit down with truth and fact and fire. Scott Veles, I'm not about to destroy myself for a race, an ideology, or a political movement because I'm not in to destroy myself. Absolutely. And you know what? Who gives a fuck if white people die out? As long as we have a good culture that respects other people and that doesn't go around raping everybody, including young kids, young girls, young boys, men and women. Right? As long as we've got a society that has that enough level of decency and common courtesy and respect for their fellow human being to not do those things, I don't care what color they are. I'm down with everyone thing. Like, I'm just chill, man. Like, all my brothers from all over the world, I love you all. You know, I might be Caucasian, but I don't give a fuck what colors you are. You know, you're all my brothers. You're all my brothers. You're all my fellow MGTOWs, and I appreciate you. Jimbo8472, man, can you send me an email? You know, I'd love to hear about your proposition. I'm always looking for, you know, like, I want to travel the world. Like, it's just, you know, there's so much out there. There's so much more opportunity out there for you guys. Don't get stuck in the matrix. Don't get stuck in the corporate soy world order. You know, don't get stuck just fucking being one of those minions that just walks along. Agent Smith, those grandparents might stop paying child support like the precedent creating case happening in Canada. Yeah, like, that's fucking bullshit, man. What? Canada is so fucking cucked. Why should my parents, if I was to have a kid, right, and I couldn't pay the child support or I died, how the fuck is that fair for my parents to go start paying child support? That's bullshit. Hacksack, appreciate it, man. You'll hire me in a minute, man. Look, curious to hear out what you're from and what you're all about. Why does it do any good to destroy yourself for a dying race? Absolutely, I don't care about color of skin at all. White Sharia, hard patriarchy, or all our ancestors worked and died for will vanish. Yeah, sadly, I think that's the truth, man. You know, as much as we want to talk about, we don't want the world to be overrun by Islam. I think that's an eventuality, especially with the birth rates in the West and feminism. And until the laws changed, us men are not going to start reproducing with these vile feminist bitches who just speak about us men like we're dirt, because we are better than that. We always have been, we always will be. And we don't deserve to be spoken to that way. And we will not be disrespected, men. NYC about to flip at your desk. Yeah, and Superlumina, okay, this is a very good point, and I agree with you. And I meant to point this out, but I missed it. There has to be an economic aspect to this. Back in the day, you only needed one salary to pay for the family. Now she has to work for this too. Now she has to work too. This must change as well. Guys, look, it's not going to change in a capitalist society. It's just not going to happen. So the only way that they can boost the birth rates up is to bring migrants in and for Big Daddy Tyrone to pay for those migrants to reproduce. But they don't. But Big Daddy Tyrone's taking the money from us men. Guys, go check out my video on the distribution of wealth. It's fucking fire. It's amazing. And I think you'll all love it, and it will open your eyes big time. Divorce rates increasing. My divorce mates are drinking themselves to death and think MGTOW is stupid because they're arrogant pussy beggars. Sad, man, sad. Let the bitches go homeless when the welfare state goes bankrupt. Absolutely, TSA trash. Going to see a lot of women with their kids out on the street, but you're also going to see a lot of blue pill manginas taking them in and then getting fucked over, and then they're going to get red pilled as well. Scott Turner, 120,000 marriages per year, 55,000 divorces per year. That's fucking heavy, man. That's heavy. All right. Anyway, guys. Anyway. Look. Governor of Michigan is here. Whoosh whoosh. It's glad. Yeah, cool. Daryl Foster. Lol. No one respects a ginger. Love you, bro. He's getting nice and soft here. You know, like fucking. Yeah, you feel that? Yeah, Big Daddy Tyrone can't touch this shit. Anyway, men, I love you all. If you have any interesting propositions for me, hit me up at sydneymgtow@gmail.com. If you guys want to donate to my Patreon or my PayPal on either a once-off or a monthly basis, please feel free to flick over. I've got the links in the description down below. Go check out the videos on the rape statistics in the Congo. Go check out the Wikipedia that MGTOW Critic used. Go check out the actual Wikipedia that I used with a decent, reliable source for MGTOW instead of some bullshit feminist claptrap. Yeah, no worries, man, for the plug. So go follow TFI MGTOW. Go follow him. It's one of my brothers. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, that's all I got to say, boys. And I accept crypto donations as well. I'm taking the fight to the Big Daddy Tyrone. This is not just someone wanting to get a bit of something off his chest. This is my passion. I'm here for you, men. I'm here for all men. And I will not stop until we fucking take Big Daddy Tyrone back and take our power back as men. Until we make him realize that we have the power. We have the feet, we have the pens, we have the voting ballots. And we will not put up with their shit anymore. We are taking it back. Anyway, men, thank you very much for tuning in. I love all of you. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate every single one of you. If you want to do a video request, hit me up, sydneymgtow@gmail.com. Donations are always voluntary but appreciated, and they'll go towards fighting the good fight to get things fixed. Red pill more men every single day, and to make things fairer for men in Australian society, because once it gets fairer for Australians, it's going to follow into the US. It's going to follow into the UK. This shit cannot, men across the world are going to stand up and take notice and go, hey, I want some of what Australia's got. I'm fighting for all of you, every single one of you. Peace, brothers. Good night.